Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is about how you can master the toughest shot in golf, the long bunker shot. The bunker shot's at sort of 25 to maybe 40 yards, okay? It's a horrible shot. I don't think anybody actually enjoys this shot, but it's a shot you get quite frequently. So we're going to go through 3 different ways you can play this shot. Find the best that suits your game to try and get this shot a little safer, because we know this shot is dangerous. I see a lot of players when they're playing this shot just take way too much sand and just leave it in the front, plug it in the face like that. And then of course this is the other one I see. The player tries to muscle it out, gets the ball first and sort of thins it way over the green there, okay? You've all done it, I've done it. Very, very easy to do. So, option number 1, this is where, this might be a bit more of the advanced one, and when you've got to carry it almost all of the way. Like, because sometimes you've been a back of a bunker and the pin might just be over the lip, for example, and that's a really tough shot. So you've got to get height and you've got to carry it all the way and try and stop it. So this is basically where you use your standard greenside bunker shot, but you increase the speed. And it's difficult because, like, human nature and just mentally, the problem with this shot is we know it's 2, 3, 4 times further than we normally hit our greenside bunker shot, 10, 12 yard bunker shot. So we start to drive too much, we start to transfer our weight too much, and that's when we get the thin one or the really heavy one. So we have to play the greenside technique. So we're going to work into this position nice and low, left foot flare, pelvis forward, a little bit of reverse tilt because there's a bit of sand there. But what I have to do is increase the speed in which I work the sand. I've got to do that to get the ball coming out quicker. But where most people get this wrong is they go with the hips. You've got to do it with your chest. So I'm going to play a greenside shot with loads of chest speed. For me, this isn't my preferred way of doing it, but it's sometimes I say you've got to play this shot and figure out what works best for you. Let's give this a go. So I'm going to really stay planted, okay? I don't want to get loose in my legs. So down with my feet, increase the chest speed, and see if I can carry it. That pin, by the way, that back pin is 32 yards from here for your reference. Okay, here we go. Let's do some chest speed. So you can, oh, that was a really nice first one. That should be pretty good. I can't see the bottom of the pin there, but I think that carried, and I felt like that had a lot of spin, like it just landed and stopped dead. So that was perfect. I don't really want to hit another one now and demonstrate another one. I will. So that felt like I was heavy in the legs, and I really just increased my chest speed. That's my 56 degree, by the way. It's my standard technique. And that allowed it to get there. Let's try that again. So I'm hitting 1 inch before the ball, but more chest speed. So that didn't quite get there, but it's still a pretty good attempt. That might be 15 feet or so. That's the difficulty of this shot. So there's option 1 for you. Now there's a slightly safer version of this, which is called the chunk and run. So basically you take it, rather than trying to take the sort of 1 inch of sand, which I generally try and take to spin it, I'm going to take between 2 and maybe 3 inches of sand, bumble it out and sort of let it run to the pin. So all I'm going to do here is, rather than looking at the ball, which is where I normally look for a bunker shot, I'm going to look at sort of a ghost ball behind it, which is going to bring me in a little bit earlier. I'm not really changing anything else. I'm still trying to apply some chest speed. But when you take more sand, the sand sort of goes over the ball and the ball creates that topspin and it runs out to the pin. So this, for a lot of you, is safer, particularly if you're prone to that thin one, okay? So I'm just going to put a little bit of shaft lean into it, not quite as back as I normally would be, but the main thing is to take a little more sand like I've done there. So that should have lots of run. Again, I can't see it, but I think that was running out versus that first one that really had lots of spin. So I took 3 inches of sand there. I just came in earlier, and then the sand has worked the ball out flat. It's just carried the lip, and it's probably run, I don't know, 20, 30 feet there. So that's the other way of doing it. So option 1, you use your regular bunker greenside technique, increase your speed. Option 1B, if you like, you hit it a little bit heavy and play the chunk and run. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. I want you to check all these out, practice them, see which works best for you. Now, it's a bit more advanced, but some of you might find this quite easy. It's a shot I've taught to a lot of tour pros and a lot of advanced players that I think works really well. It's the way I would tend to play it if I'm looking for a bit of control. It's maybe not quite as risky as that first one I showed you, which is a draw version. And what that means is I'm going to drop my right foot back. I'm going to swing a little bit in, and actually release the club still. Still doing a release 2. So release 2 is where the buster grip's pointing at the belt buckle just after the ball. But what I'm doing here is turning the face at the same time. So the sand is being moved more in a forward direction, and I'm actually putting a right to left spin axis on the ball, which helps carry it further. You can still spin it a bit, but it will land, and it tends to want to sort of run a little bit to the left with that right to left spin. And I find that quite nice for this 30, 35 yard shot. Sounds advanced, but it's not really. Don't open the face quite as much as normal. Just have it a fraction open. But you can see how my alignment now, I'm really back this way, pointing more to the right. Ball position still just inside the heel. We're in, releasing it, but I'm turning it over. Just try and, let's see if I can move the ball right to left. In and release a draw. There you go, that's drawing. So that will land and that run out. I find that the easiest way for me to do it. I'm using my 56, which is my sand wedge, but I'm turning the loft down and I'm really working the sand forward. If you've got lots of sand in the bunker, this might not work. This is when you've got like a nice normal amount of sand and you can work it forward. I'll hit one more for you. So drop the foot back in, turn it over. See how the face, now normally my greenside wedge as it comes through this way is this way. I'm really holding it on. Now I'm turning it over, okay? I'm drawing the ball. Drop the foot back, hit a draw. Square the face off, hit a draw. See that move right to left, that should be pretty good. So I found that really easy. That's how I play it. That's the second option for you. The third option is where we move away from the sand wedge and we start to go to stronger lofts. And this, for me, might be the best version for a lot of you at home. I've got a selection of clubs here just to really show you. I'm going to go to a 9-iron, okay, so quite a strong loft. And as I said right at the beginning of this video, I think the reason a lot of golfers struggle with this shot is definitely just down to human nature of like thinking, well, I've got to get my ball all the way to that pin. They start hitting it too hard, they lose the ground, the legs start sliding, contact goes all over the place. The beauty about having something like a 9-iron or a pitching wedge or even a 50-52 in your hand, you know you've got a much stronger loft. So just mentally, you don't feel like you've got to hit it as hard. So you start to swing a little bit smoother. The narrow sole of a 9-iron or a pitching wedge will skip the sand quicker, and you can really apply your normal sort of 15-yard distance in terms of speed and length of swing, but do it with a stronger loft, and it really goes from 10 yards to 30 yards just from the club change. Like the club is doing most of the work. So 9-iron. It looks a little bit strange visually when you're looking down, like it looks nothing like your sand wedge, but you've got to get over that. Everything else is the same. So I'm setting up the same. Bit of sand on that. And I'm doing my normal swing now. Don't need to hit it any harder. I don't need to turn any quicker than I would for a 10-yard shot. So in my mind, I'm tricking myself to hit a 10-yard bunker shot with my sand wedge, but I've just got this club in my hand, okay? And then let's see how we get on with this. So I'm not trying to draw this now. I'm actually trying to keep the loft on through the ball. 9-iron bunker shot. You see how that splashed? So easy to get there. Hit that really, really softly. And you see how it just carried out? It will run a little bit more of the 9, but let's try that again. That's a really nice shot. So easy. This is probably how I would recommend for most of you at home watching. This is how you should go for a long bunker shot. Don't put yourself through the stress of a sand wedge. Obviously, a bit more advanced. Try that draw one or that first shot I showed you, but this is just repeatable. You don't have to hit it hard, and it will just run all the way out there. That was a 9-iron. That's probably a little bit exaggerated for that 30-yard shot, but I was just trying to show you. 52 is another really nice option, or a 50, depends what loft you carry. But a 52 is obviously a little bit stronger than the 56 I would normally use. And again, just mentally, I know I've got a bit of strength in that loft. I don't have to hit it too hard. And there's the 52, pretty close. Okay, so you know, you get a bit of trial and error. You're going to have to try a few clubs, see which works best for you in terms of playing that long bunker shot with less loft. But I've just shown you the 9-iron or a pitching wedge. What a great option that is. So just to recap, you've got option 1, play your normal greenside shot, but increase your chest speed, not your leg speed. There's a slightly different version of that where you play the chunk and run, where you just take a little bit more sand. That's quite a nice safer one if you're worried about hitting the thin shot. Second version, which have a go with, I think you'll be able to get this with a practice as a draw. It's my personal favourite, hitting a draw bunker shot. And then you've got, I think, maybe the safest version of just using different lofts, stronger lofts with your regular greenside technique, and that then will send the ball further almost for free. And I think that's the easiest and safest way to play this very, very difficult shot, but not difficult anymore, is it? Right, so hopefully that makes sense, and you can put that in your own game, and we shall see you next time.